All right, buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into the misty, mysterious world of Unsolved Mysteries, British edition. You know, England, land of tea, crumpets, and enough spooky stories to make your hair stand on end. And trust me, we're not talking about your run-of-the-mill ghost stories here. We're talking about cases so bizarre, so baffling, that they've stumped even the most seasoned detectives, historians, and dare I say paranormal enthusiasts. So grab your magnifying glass, your skepticism, and maybe a stiff drink, because these stories are not for the faint of heart. Get ready to explore the dark underbelly of England's history, where the line between fact and fiction blurs, and the truth, well, it remains elusive. Let's get into it. Picture this. 1483, the Tower of London, a place synonymous with power, intrigue, and more than its fair share of bloodshed. King Edward IV kicks the bucket, leaving behind two young sons, Edward and Richard, next in line for the throne. Enter their uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, a man with ambition radiating off of him like cheap cologne. Richard, appointed as their protector, swears to keep these kids safe, but then, poof, the princes vanish into thin air. Talk about suspicious, right? This, my friends, is where our story begins. Now, the Tower of London already had a reputation. It's seen more drama than a season finale of, well, anything on TV, but this disappearance, it sent shockwaves through England. Rumours spread like wildfire. Had the princes been murdered, secretly spirited away, eaten by ravens? Okay, maybe not that last one, but you get the idea. Everyone had a theory, and the tower's cold stone walls whispered secrets that no one dared to speak aloud, or at least not until now. Let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the Duke in the Tower, Richard III. Ambitious, ruthless, and with a claim to the throne himself, Richard became the prime suspect. Some historians argue he had the boys silenced, removing any obstacles to his own royal aspirations. Ruthless? Absolutely. But was he a cold-blooded child killer? That's the million-dollar question, and unfortunately we're fresh out of million-dollar answers. Now, not everyone buys into the whole Richard III did it theory. Some believe the princes escaped, whisked away to live out their days in peaceful anonymity. Maybe they went undercover, adopted new identities, grew beards, and started a goat cheese farm in the countryside. Look, a guy can dream, can't he? It's a long shot, but hey, stranger things have happened, right? Right? Centuries later, in 1674, workers at the tower stumbled upon a gruesome discovery. Two skeletons small enough to belong to children, hidden beneath a staircase. Were these the remains of the lost princes? The evidence was compelling, but inconclusive. The mystery lingered, a ghost story whispered through generations. Were the princes murdered? Did they escape? Or does the truth still lie buried beneath the stones of the tower, waiting to be unearthed? The mystery, my friends, remains unsolved. Okay, let's set sail for the high seas, where the sun is hot, the water is vast, and mysteries run deeper than the Mariana Trench. It's December 1872, and the merchant ship, the Mary Celeste, is found drifting aimlessly near the Azores Islands. Now, a ship adrift isn't that unusual, but the Mary Celeste? This was different. The ship was in shipshape, cargo intact supplies, plentiful, even the crew's personal belongings were right where they left them. There was just one tiny problem. No crew. 10 souls had vanished. Poof! Gone! Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife, their young daughter, and the 7-man crew, all gone without a trace. Now, I'm no salty sea dog, but abandoning a perfectly good ship, that ain't normal. Even for seasoned sailors, that's just bad form. So what happened? Did they hit rough seas and abandon ship in a panic? Did they encounter pirates? Or did something more sinister befall them on the open ocean? Theories about the Mary Celeste are about as plentiful as barnacles on a sunken ship. Some folks say pirates boarded the vessel, took what they wanted, and tossed the crew overboard. Others whisper about sea monsters, rogue waves, or even mutiny on the high seas. And then there's the theory that really gets the goosebumps going: alien abduction. Yeah, you heard me right. Extraterrestrials, UFOs, the whole shebang. Now, I know what you're thinking. Shane, this is all a bit far-fetched, even for you. And you know what? You might be right. Some maritime experts believe a perfectly rational explanation exists. They suggest a build-up of fumes from the cargo of alcohol on board, leading the captain to order a temporary evacuation. Maybe a lifeboat malfunctioned, stranding the crew at sea, leaving the Mary Celeste to drift into legend. The Mary Celeste remains a haunting reminder of the unpredictable nature of the sea. Was it piracy, a natural disaster, or something truly out of this world? We may never know. The truth, like the Mary Celeste herself, is lost to the waves, leaving behind a chilling tale that continues to fascinate and terrify in equal measure. Okay, so picture this: rolling hills, misty moors, sheep, just vibing, right? Sounds idyllic, right? Wrong. Because lurking in the shadows of this picturesque landscape is something sinister. Something that goes bump in the night, and by bump I mean mauls livestock. This, my friends, is the stomping ground of the beast of Bodmin Moor. We're talking about decades of sightings, folks. Decades. Farmers whispering tales around flickering fireplaces, eyes wide with terror. They'll tell you about monstrous black cats, bigger than any house cat they've ever seen, with glowing eyes that pierce the darkness. Are they just messing with us? Trying to drum up some tourism with spooky campfire stories? Maybe. Or maybe, just maybe, there's something truly terrifying out there, something with razor-sharp claws and a taste for sheep. Something that sends chills down your spine with a single blood-curdling roar. Now, I'm not one to shy away from a good cryptid, but even I have to admit there are a few head-scratchers surrounding this beastly business. For starters, we're talking about a phantom feline the size of a small car. That's a whole lot of cat food, even for the most dedicated of hunters. And where's the beef, or rather the beastly evidence? Sure, we've got blurry photos and eyewitness accounts, but nothing concrete. No clear images, no DNA samples, no smoking gun, or claw in this case. It's enough to make even the most seasoned paranormal investigator like myself raise an eyebrow. Could it be that the beast of Bodmin Moor is nothing more than a figment of our collective imagination? A spooky story whispered over too many pints at the pub? Don't answer that just yet, because we've still got a lot more ground to cover, and trust me, things are about to get wild. All right, let's put on our detective hats, shall we? When it comes to cryptids, there are a few usual suspects. First up, we've got the classic escapee theory. Maybe a leopard got loose from a nearby zoo, decided the English countryside was more at speed and went full feral. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. Then there's the prehistoric throwback. What if, just maybe, a population of saber-toothed cats somehow managed to survive, hidden away in the depths of the moors, waiting for their moment to strike? It'd be like Jurassic Park, but with more fur and less Jeff Goldblum. And of course, we can't forget about the misidentification factor. Maybe what people are seeing is just a regular-sized cat, but the fog and shadows are playing tricks on their eyes. Or maybe it's just a really, really big badger having a bad day. But let's be real, those explanations are a tad boring, wouldn't you say? Where's the mystery, the intrigue, the potential for a good old-fashioned monster mash? But jokes aside, the beast of Bodmin Moor isn't just a campfire story. There have been reports of livestock mutilations, strange tracks and eerie noises that would make even the bravest soul sleep with the lights on. Farmers have lost entire flocks of sheep, their bodies drained of blood, with wounds too clean, too precise to be the work of any ordinary predator. It's the kind of stuff that keeps you up at night, wondering what lurks just beyond the reach of your flashlight beam. Some say it's a phantom panther, a creature of legend come to life. Others whisper of a government experiment gone wrong, a genetically modified monster unleashed upon the unsuspecting countryside. The truth, as always, remains elusive. But one thing's for sure, something is stalking the moors, something that sends shivers down the spines of even the most skeptical among us. So what are we to make of all this? Is the Beast of Bodmin Moor a real-life monster, a figment of our collective imagination, or something in between? The evidence, as always, is inconclusive, but that's the beauty of a good mystery, isn't it? The unanswered questions, the tantalizing clues, the possibility that something truly extraordinary might be lurking just beyond our understanding. The search for the Beast of Bodmin Moor continues, and who knows, maybe one day we'll finally come face to face with the creature that has haunted this corner of England for generations. Until then, we'll keep the lights on, the cameras rolling, and our eyes peeled for any sign of movement in the shadows. Stay curious, my friends. All right, buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into one of the most debated UFO sightings in history, the Rendlesham Forest incident. Picture it, December 1980, Cold War tensions are running high, and a group of US airmen stationed at RAF Woodbridge in good old England start seeing some seriously weird lights in the sky. Not just your average run-of-the-mill lights either. We're talking strange, unexplained lights darting through the trees. I mean, I've seen some weird stuff in my day, but this just screams extraterrestrial, you know? The airmen, probably thinking their Christmas lights had gone rogue, decided to investigate. I mean, curiosity and all that. What they found, however, was far from festive cheer. According to their accounts, the lights came from a metallic triangular object, you know, your classic UFO that was just chilling out in the forest. They even claimed to have seen strange symbols on the side, but hey, maybe it was just a lost spaceship trying to find its way back to Space Walmart. One airman, Deputy Base Commander Charles Holt, even recorded audio tapes of the incident, capturing his surprise and, let's be honest, a touch of terror in his voice. You can actually hear the guy freaking out a little bit, which, let's be real, is completely understandable. I mean, if I saw a giant metal triangle in the woods, I'd probably lose my mind too. He described the object as being about 3 meters tall and emitting a strange pulsing light. Some witnesses even said it seemed to move independently, like it was scanning the area. Now, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was probably aliens. The incident quickly became a sensation, with some claiming it was definitive proof of extraterrestrial life. Others, of course, dismissed it as mass hysteria or a misidentified weather balloon. I mean, gotta love a good weather balloon explanation, right? But the thing is, the Rendlesham Forest incident wasn't just some one-off event. There were multiple witnesses, including military personnel, who all reported seeing something truly bizarre. And let's not forget about those strange indentations found in the ground where the object supposedly landed. It's like someone parked their spaceship in the wrong spot and just peaced out. Section 4. The truth is out there. Years later, the Ministry of Defense released official documents about the incident, but they were heavily redacted. You know, the classic "we can't tell you what we know" routine. So what really happened in Rendlesham Forest that night? Was it a visit from our extraterrestrial neighbours, a top-secret government project, or just a really convincing light show? The truth, as they say, is out there. Or maybe it's buried deep in some government archive, never to see the light of day. Either way, it's enough to make you want to grab your tinfoil hat and start looking up at the sky. The Rendlesham Forest incident remains one of the most intriguing and debated UFO sightings in history. Was it a close encounter of the third kind, or simply a case of mistaken identity? Whatever the answer, it's a reminder that there are still mysteries out there, hidden in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. And who knows, maybe one day we'll finally get to the bottom of what really happened in those woods. Until then, I'll be keeping my eyes on the skies just in case. Alright folks, if you thought UFOs were freaky, just wait until you hear about Borley Rectory. This place, nestled away in the English countryside, isn't just allegedly haunted, it's like the Haunted House Hall of Fame. Built back in 1863, this place has seen more paranormal activity than a séance at a cemetery. We're talking full-on ghostly apparitions, unexplained noises, objects moving on their own, the whole 9 yards. They should just rename it to Spooky Manor and be done with it. The legend goes that Borley Rectory is built on cursed ground, the site of a tragic love affair between a monk and a nun from a nearby monastery. Apparently they tried to elope but were caught, and their punishment was less than forgiving. The monk was executed and the nun was bricked up alive within the walls of the rectory. Harsh, right? Now, I'm not one for ghost stories, but that's enough to make even the most skeptical person sleep with the lights on, and it gets worse. The most frequently sighted ghost is said to be the nun, who can be seen walking the grounds at night, forever searching for her lost love. Talk about a bad breakup. Over the years, there have been countless reports of paranormal activity at Borley Rectory. Residents have claimed to have seen furniture move on its own, heard disembodied voices whispering their names, and even felt cold spots, you know, the classic signs of a haunting. One resident, a Reverend Harry Bull, claimed to have been physically attacked by an unseen force. Seriously, this place makes your average haunted house look like a walk in the park. In the 1920s, a psychic researcher named Harry Price spent several years investigating Borley Rectory, documenting every creak, groan, and ghostly whisper. He even claimed to have captured images of ghostly figures on camera, which, if true, is pretty convincing evidence. But, you know, cameras can be tricky things. However, paranormal activity or not, the stories surrounding Borley Rectory are enough to make your skin crawl. Sadly, Borley Rectory was destroyed by a fire in 1939, leaving behind only ruins and a legacy of chilling tales. But the stories haven't stopped. People still report strange occurrences in the area, claiming that the spirits of Borley Rectory live on. So is Borley Rectory truly the most haunted house in England? Or is it just a spooky old building with a knack for storytelling? I guess you'll have to visit and find out for yourself, but don't say I didn't warn you. Well, there you have it. England's top 5 unsolved mysteries. From vanished princes to phantom big cats, we've covered it all. Which of these mysteries sent shivers down your spine? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more eerie tales and travel adventures. And remember, some mysteries are better left unsolved. Thanks for watching. In our next video, we're diving deep into the Bermuda Triangle to see if those disappearances are just bad luck or something more sinister. Until then, stay curious and maybe sleep with the lights on. See you soon.